You know, Geico's been around.
Hello, hello, hello! What is up, everyone? Oh, Baron Bounty, thank you for the follow. Not Clue Flash. That was this isn't Clue Flash. Why does it say Clue Flash? Did I leave? Oh, well, it actually isn't Clue Flash. It's Starfield Pact. Clue Flash is sweet. What's up, D-Many? The Robot Cow, hello. Glad you finally made it. Am I sick? I don't think so. Hopefully not. Do I sound sick? Dauntless Dude, thank you for the follow. Yeah, so we're trying this Clue Flash deck. It seems pretty sweet. No, not Clue Flash. I still have Clue Flash on my mind. Oh, maybe I'm hoarse. I don't know. You probably know better than I do, because you can hear me. No, we're playing Starfield Pact today. So that means, I don't know. We're trying to Starfield of Nyx to animate Demonic Pact in Beatdown. At work, gonna catch you in about an hour when I get out. Alright, D-Many. I'll see you in an hour. Rick, thank you for the follow. Pre-Twitch vocal exercises. Who do you think I am? Oh, I didn't really go over the deck very well. Yeah, so what we're doing is enchantments. Many enchantments. The main idea is Starfield of Nyx to animate all of our enchantments, especially Demonic Pact. But Stasis Snares, Oath of Jace, I guess those are the main ones, because Deadweight isn't very, you can't really animate auras. I think it even says non-aura enchantments. But then we can Angelic Purge to kill our Pact, and then get it back with Starfield of Nyx, and all this crazy stuff. So it should be interesting. What's up, Cork? Is there a way to cut blue? Well, not if we want to loop Oath of Jace over and over again. And Slumgar's command is kind of important as a backup way of getting rid of our demonic packs. And then the sideboard, we got some more enchantments, some negates. Also, some Archangel Avacyn. Yeah, the deck list doesn't work that well when we're looking at the deck. It lines up well when we're playing a match. So let's go to a match. What's up, 18Z Cooper? So, of course, the reminders, as always. If you want to support the stream and the site, we got playmats for sale. There's a link down below. And MTG Goldfish Replay on YouTube is where you can catch all the old streams. Oath of Gideon is an interesting loop as well. I splash blue for Oath of Jace. Oh, geez, this still says Teamer Traverse? That was a long time ago. Alright, let's update that. So we are playing Starfield Pact. And we are currently 0-0. What's up, by the way, Jake? Alright, so League. What's up, Dark Spy? How goes it? Starfield Pact. Oh, I'm a little worried that we're just going to get wrecked by Nahiri. Any chance of streaming budget elves? I guess there's always a chance. Wilford, thank you for the follow. Yeah, Jace will likely continue to drop. Been bringing a modern deck using the Zubira plus rally the ancestors. You sack your Zubiras at the same time. Rally, sack the Zubiras. Interesting. That's cool. Joshua, thank you for the follow. That is a cool idea. I like it. I approve. Doing well, Dark Spy. I love Starfield of Nyx, so hopefully this deck actually works. I'm a little worried, especially about Nahiri. Nahiri seems like such a beating. Seriously, thank you for the follow. Yeah, if you haven't followed the Twitch yet, do that as well. Let you know when we're streaming. Next one after this is tomorrow night at 7, and I think that's the last one for the week. Knickknacks. Thank you for the follow. Alright, match 1. Hopefully we're not up against Nahiri. The Leyline deck is sweet in Legacy. It's very all-in, though. Like, it has a hard time beating things like Force of Will. No Sigil. No Sigil in this one. Oh, I'm glad you enjoy the podcast. I don't know, we might do guests on Commander Clash at some point. We haven't got to that yet, though. Failed to find... Any chance of seeing a contest of subscribers against the odds deck brewing? You know, maybe each year a contest for the most cool and junkiest deck we can think of. That's a neat idea. Yeah. I would have to figure out the details of it and how to make it work, but I think it's a cool idea. What's my unpopular opinion regarding Magic? Probably that Magic doesn't have to be fun for both players. Things like Stasis and Winter Orb and Knowledge Pool. I'm completely fine with that. As long as one player is having fun, then Magic is doing fine, in my opinion. White, thank you for the follow. Hey, thanks, Crimson Run. Hopefully you have good luck if we ever get a match, which is proving challenging for some reason. Shouldn't be that hard. They just randomly throw you with any record, so I don't know why it's taking so long, unless like no one is playing leagues. Steve, thank you for the follow. I do like to use white bordered cards sometimes, just because it apparently tilts people, and I find it funny. So if I'm playing a deck that is already somewhat trolly, then I definitely try to go white bordered. Uh-oh. Maybe they're having problems with leagues. I had fun in Standard with Guild Feud. Ooh, Guild Feud is sweet. Oh man, we probably have mismatched lands in this one. I don't think I updated it. Did I play Overwatch like I said I would? Lord Humdingus, thank you for the follow. I have not played Overwatch still. Might end up playing Overwatch right now if we never get a match. Hoping for an unset next year. That would be sweet. I like unsets. I think it would be cool to see another one. Oh my goodness. What's my drink of choice? Gatorade at this point. I used to drink a lot of soda, but I've intentionally stopped drinking soda. So now I drink a lot of Gatorade. Ahoy hoy! Yeah, you can send me against the odds ideas. Saffronolive at mtggoldfish.com. No guarantee that they'll actually be used, but... MSC Jake, thanks for the follow. I have not played that yet. Alright, are we gonna get a match? Hey, a match! What's my flavor? I like the light blue frost one. What is it called? Oh, I got one right here. Glacier Freeze. Well, I'm glad you enjoy the puns and wails of agony. Yes, it's early today, Stu. That's because I have to record Commander Clash tonight, so we got an early stream so I can be done at like 6:30 to do Commander Clash. Have I tried Cucumber and Lime Gatorade? Once. Not a huge fan. We have a ton of tap lands, but I guess this is fine. We'll keep it. Alexander, thank you for the follow. I don't think there's much difference between friendly and competitive leagues, really, as far as the level of jankness. Uther. Spreading Seas Urborg sounds pretty spicy. Shambling Vents, go. Any hints on the Clash? This is, viewer-submitted deck week, so we're playing decks submitted by the viewers. Hello, by the way, Stu. Thalia's Lieutenant. Well, we got a Stasis Snare. That's something. No, I'm playing a viewer-submitted deck this week. We all are. And I don't think there's any infinite combos. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think so. Oh, man. That 87-card Mardu Super Friends deck in Modern looked ridiculous. Super ridiculous. So our opponent is apparently Bant Humans, which means they probably have Darmoka's command to blow out our Pact. Tireless Tracker. Pumps up Thalia's Lieutenant. You think picking up foil manlands is a smart move, at least the ones in Standard? If I would focus on ones that see play in older formats, which is kind of limiting if you're going to pick up foils. I'm not sure what that would be, actually. Maybe Hissing Quagmire? This deck has many tap lands. What colors am I playing? I think my deck is It. Min, thank you for the follow. Oh, awesome, Uther. Thank you. That's why I play him, Dark Spy. That's exactly the reason I play white borders. 100%. Oh yeah, black-white. Yeah, Shambling Vents is a good option as well. Ooh, Soren? Alright, well, this feels weird, but let's pacify Thalia's lieutenant, play a Sunken Hollow, pass the turn. Hey, thanks, Min. I'm glad you enjoy it. Another Tireless Tracker, pumps up Thalia's lieutenant. If you play the Mardu deck, could you make some changes? Yeah, 87 cards is ridiculous. J. Comer. That is possible. Are we just gonna lose? Alright, well, we get 2 Demonic Pact. That's a start. Do you think there will ever be a legendary turtle? Why would you need a turtle commander? Like, I guess it's possible there's a legendary turtle someday. But why? Are there enough turtles to make a turtle EDH deck? Is that a real possibility? Another Thalia's lieutenant. This is getting kind of out of control. Land. Are we just... No, we're not dead. We're... Unless they hit a 1-drop? Alright, I think we're not dead. So that's good. We dropped to 3. Crack Evolving Wilds. How many basics? Oh, this deck does not have many basics, does it? I guess we get a Swamp. So now we need to shoot down Thalia's lieutenant. Ooh, Slumgar's Command 2. Alright, well, I think we just go with Soren. Let's... Sunken Hollow, Soren. Spreading Algae Urborg with Liquid Mana Colding in natural state. Wow. That's going deep. Alright, let's kill Tireless Tracker. We're going to lose our Soren, but we've gained a bunch of life back and sort of stabilized. They're going to get a clue why they can. Favorite creature type? I don't know if I really have a favorite creature type. Opponent sacks a clue. Alright. Well, this is okay. We lose Soren, but we get to start drawing cards. We got Slumgar's Command to bounce our Pact. We might have stabilized. Although eventually they're going to hit Collected Companies, and that's going to be bad for us. Fortified Village, untapped. Thraben Inspector. Gets another clue. Good old Giant Tortoise. Coming soon, or returning soon, in Eternal Masters. Sacks the clue. Evening, Jesler. Yeah, we're playing some Starfield Pact. Yeah, they're gonna kill Soren, of course. Wizard Tribal is pretty sweet. I am that kind of guy. We got quality options today? Nice. I don't know how that works. Sometimes we randomly do, sometimes we don't. Alright, we're going to draw this time, I think. Hitting a Languish would be pretty solid. 1, 2, 3. Well, I guess we can Oath of Jace and try to hit a Languish. A little risky, but I think it's fine. Oath of Jace. Catbus, thank you so much for the follow. Okay. So let's pitch caves and plains. And then deadweight this knight. Play a shambling vent, pass the turn. So we do have Starfield for next turn, which hopefully is pretty good. A Tog tribal, or a Tog. Most exciting card from EMA. I have to think about that. Maybe Mana Crypt. Mana Crypt is pretty exciting. Down to 8, thanks to the humans. 1, 2, 3, 4. Collected Company could still be bad. Well, let's do target player discards 2 cards. I guess we're just going to have to bounce our Demonic Pact. Discards 2 lands. Unless we draw a way to kill it. Another Slumgar's Command. Alright, so Prairie Stream, stop on our opponent's upkeep. See what our opponent does here. If they go to Collected Company, we can counter and bounce our Demonic Pact. Alright, they do not. So we're going to return Demonic Pact and kill Thalia's Lieutenant. Ooh, I have not really read over the emails from the last couple days yet, but I will. What's up, Marty Punker? How goes it? Crocus? Yeah, it'd be nice if it was under 80 pounds, or euros. I feel like we're pretty well stabilized, especially with Starfield in hand. We don't have, well, we can get back Deadweight, I guess. Deadweight's kind of a cool combo. Just keeps coming back and killing their humans. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, let's Sunken Hollow and Demonic Pact so we can leave up Slumgar's Command. Saffronolive at mtggoldfish.com is the email for any of that stuff. I was until earlier today because my Momir opponent had a stop on my draw step for some reason. Yeah, that drives me crazy too. Also, upkeep stops for no reason. Some players just always have an upkeep stop. I get it if you're playing like Vendilion Click in your deck or something, but most decks in upkeep stop it's pretty rare that you need one, and you can just set it on when you need it. Ooh, Scepter. What is there to put on Scepter in Limited? I haven't really thought about that. Well, we're back down to 6, but I still feel like we're in pretty good shape. We get to, let's just draw. Yeah, let's draw with Pact. Who's on the MTG Goldfish team? Well, pretty much myself and Richard, who does all the coding and owns the site. And then Tomer does commander stuff. And then Jake does Pauper. So that's most of the MTG Goldfish team at this point. I guess all of it. Alright, let's just play Starfield. I think it's fine. What's the worst that can happen? We can play Starfield and leave up Slumgar's Command, which makes it pretty low risk. So Starfield comes down, animates our stuff, and let's not attack with everything. Let's leave back Oath of Jace, just in case. Like double Collected Company or something. How do we meet? I was writing stuff on Reddit, and Richard reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to write stuff on Goldfish. And then Tomer and Jake came in later. I'm not 100% sure exactly how they came in. Oh, Island Swamp. Of course, I forgot about Island Swamp. He does the vintage stuff. He still writes on Pure MTGO as well about vintage. My bad. I definitely should have remembered Island Swamp. Sorry, Island Swamp. Thoughts on Legacy Festival deck choices? Oh, God. Alright, well, I guess we gotta counter this. So let's counter non-creature permanent. Or counter non-creature spell, kill the Thraben Inspector. Hopefully they don't follow this up with a collected company. That would be bad. The origins of the name Saffron Olive. I swear I'm going to make an overlay for that. Gotta make an overlay for the name thing. Played a side event at GP Minneapolis and had a Silence Under Scepter with Grand Abolisher out on my side of the battlefield. Nice. It's like the old Scepter chant list. That was one of my introductions to Magic, was someone in one of my very casual first play groups playing extended Scepter chant, and me never casting spells to the point where I almost flipped the table on a few occasions. And I think that's why I love things like Stasis and Lock. Oh my God! We'll talk about blowouts. Could we be dead here? They had double Dramoka's command? Alright, let's sack Oath of Jace. Oh! The timing didn't work. Oh, I sacked the enchantment first, and all of our enchantments went back to being non-creatures. Sweet. Okay. Well, now we're not dead. We're actually in fine shape. Actually, that's good for us. We didn't get in damage, but we get to get back Oath of Jace next turn. So, cool. Our opponent, I thought we were wrecked, but our opponent was actually wrecked. And now we get to draw more cards, which is awesome. Especially since we're going to have to answer Demonic Pact at some point. I guess we can make our opponent discard here. In case they have a collected company, make them play it now, so we can languish. Yep, I knew that was going to happen. Oh, seriously? What do you just... Well, okay, that's fine. We get to sack our Demonic Pact, which actually isn't bad either. We're going to have to get rid of that at some point. Get back Oath of Jace, do some looting. Ooh, another Sorin? Well, let's pitch a Languish now in a Caves. Swamp. Play a Sorin, and just start ticking up Sorin. Ooh, Anguish Unmaking is a good one as well. Alright, I'm feeling pretty good about where we're at. So we got the loop. We can get back Demonic Pact now with Starfield, and that actually turns on. Oh, and we even get to Scry? Oh, this deck is sweet when it starts doing its thing. Alright, we'll keep Stasis Snare. I guess that's fine. Get back Demonic Pact. Animate our stuff. Prairie Stream. Pump up Sorin. Another Starfield. Alright, let's go double Starfield action. And do some attacking. Yeah, there's a decent chance we won't get to Momir today, because this deck does not seem quick. I'm nervous that we won't even finish the entire league, because I have Commander Clash tonight. So, unlike other nights where, in theory, I can go a little bit longer if I have to, tonight I really can't. I really need to stop by, like 6:30 at the latest, pretty much. Let's just kill our opponent here. But then there's always tomorrow, Tracy, for Momir, hopefully. We are playing Starfield Demonic Pact. Well, Virulent Plague doesn't seem great. Kalitas is probably decent. This deck is ridiculous. Mono Red Burn? No. What's the best version of Grixis in Modern? I don't know, but I would start with the list that Chapin played at the last GP. His list looked pretty solid. I was thinking about playing it at some point just because it looked pretty sweet. Oh, sorry, Tracy King. Sky, thank you for the follow. So what are we sideboarding in here? Vessels for control, Negates for control, Virulent Plague doesn't seem great. Kalitas and Archangel are probably the only two things that are arguable. We kind of just feel pretty well set up to play against this deck. We have so much removal, have lots of inevitability. Yeah, there used to be Momir dailies. Yes, I did know that. It's a shame they took them away. They should add Momir leagues. Were you listening to the Card Hoarder podcast, Jay Comer? I just listened to the Card Hoarder podcast earlier today myself, and they were talking about Momir leagues. Or, Momir dailies. Yeah, they were actually really good value, because, man, Moto used to be better value all around, but you could win a pretty low percentage of the time and come out ahead. I can't remember the exact percentage, but like 52, 53% or something. Good morning, Fulza. So you could win like 52 or 53% of the time and come out ahead. And in Momir, like there's a lot of randomness, but you can definitely shift the odds 3% by being a good player. Especially since that's a cheap format that a lot of new players go into. So they were actually really profitable events to grind back when they had dailies. We stumbled down the end and finished 3-2. But both of our losses were hard-fought 3-game matches. So I still think that deck is really solid. And I still plan on playing it more. Yeah, start with the list Chavin played at the last GP is pretty much the best advice you can give at any point about Grixis. I have a Grixis aggro deck with Grave Purge and Liliana's Indignation. Ooh, that's spicy. Well, we can't kill Pacifist. I guess we just need an island here. Angelic Purge. I don't really want this thing to flip. It feels bad, but let's deadweight it. Oh, you like the Would You Rather segment? Really? Therese got paid less for the original Force of Will? I did not know that. I guess it wasn't uncommon. I do know that she used herself as a model and used to be incredibly ripped back in the day. Because that's Therese in the art of Force of Will. Well then, now we're getting beaten down. So I guess our plan is Oath of Jace, assuming we draw nothing, which we do. So Oath of Jace, and then we can Angelic Purge to sack Oath of Jace. Language is also pretty solid. Let's pitch some of our 4 Caves of Koilos. Evo G, Quicksilver, thanks for the follow. For Momir, I've taken to playing... Yeah, that is Therese, that she used herself as a model for the original Force of Will. Yeah, that's cool. I'm glad to get feedback about... Astral Side, that made me laugh. I'd love to get feedback on the series, because it was fun to do. So if people actually like it, I could imagine doing it for more reprint sets in the future. Because it's weird to do regular set reviews for a reprint set, because you already know all the cards, so it just seems kind of silly. This isn't going too well so far. Opponent gets to flip. We don't get to scry. Well, I guess we can just pacifism. They brought in Negates? What's happening in this matchup? Sunken Hollow, go. Cool. Well, I'm glad to hear good reviews on Would You Rather. Yeah, I am a fan of making a 2-drop and skipping 3-drop as well. Someday, I've mentioned this before, I want to do a complete statistical breakdown of Momir. It gets overwhelming once you realize how many cards there are at some rarities. But I do want to do that. And I think 2, is clearly better than 3 when it comes to hitting something good as far as like a mana creature. So I think that that's probably the best play. I felt like there's a lot of deference to the original art in a lot of cases, regardless of what the new printing looked like, although I'm a new player. Yeah, as someone who appreciates the history of the game and likes original borders, it was a challenge to look beyond all that stuff and really judge. Tyoji, thank you for hanging out. See you next time. So it was a challenge to look beyond all the other stuff that goes into a card. If this is a Stratus Dancer, I might also cry. Hopefully it's just Den Protector. Mono negates. Alright, well that's good to know. Our opponent has many negates. You like the wolf art on the old glacial wall? Do we need to bring in negates to fight the negates? Probably not. Oh, awesome. Nice foil open. Was I a math or business major in college? I was not. I was always more of a humanities type of person when it came to college. Took creative writing courses. Psychology is what I finally ended up getting my degree in. Psychology-related junk. But that's the kind of stuff that appealed to me. But I also really like numbers, so... we don't need bringing negates. I think that they probably only have a couple, and it's just unfortunate that they drew both of them. Double Deadweight's nice. Yeah, that surf token is so funny. The new one, the art is really good, but the old one is just so absurd. How do you vote against that? Yeah, maybe it would be better to bring in creatures. I think the idea is it's like a transformational sideboard. Get your opponent to take out their creature removal, then bring in Avacyn's and the other creatures. Well, we have many Starfields. The question is, are we going to get lands? Oh, awesome. Man, Deck Builder Toolkit into Foil Jace is some crazy value. Yeah, the old one does look pretty malnourished. Oh, come on, land. Aha. Alright, we're getting there. We'll pass for now. I don't really want to deadweight a 3-man Inspector. That feels like a waste. I like this deck, too. I don't know how good it is right now, because I think Mahiri really wrecks it. Yeah, that's definitely a good open value-wise. No doubt about it. Ooh, is our opponent stuck on lands? If they don't play a land, then we might just deadweight, especially if we don't draw a land. We do draw a land. Alright, we're still going to deadweight. Let's just kill that thing. Play the caves, and now we're just hoping we draw a land for Starfield, and then I think we're heavily favored. Only Triskaidekaphobia. Ooh, Triskaidekaphobia could work in this. Our opponent is to the discard point. Ooh, Tragic Arrogance. Alright, well, we get to Oath of Jace, which is solid. Hopefully finds us a land drop. Sets up our Starfield. We'll pitch a Pacifism and a Deadweight, since we can get those back pretty easily with Starfield, if we want to. If you want to know if this deck is good, get a matchup against Black-White Control. That thing is dead solid at the moment. Yeah, I am not too worried about Black-White Control, honestly. Not that we would beat it, but I think we would have a fine matchup against it, actually. There is Starfield number 1 with Oath of Jace to protect against a Dromoka's Command. Should I play Pithing Needle in the sideboard? Our opponent is just not understanding this Dromoka's Command thing. I guess they just don't have anything else to do. Should I play Pithing Needle in the sideboard of Turbo Fog to counter Nahiri's? Yes. Yes, do that. Also, yeah, I guess Pithing Needle is better in that deck. Grafdigger's Cage is a good answer as well. So they let us draw more with Oath of Jace. So thanks, opponent. Ooh, Demonic Pact, Stasis Snare. How do we lose this game? Well, let's pitch Stasis Snare and 1, 2, 3, 4, and Languish for now, and then just Demonic Pact, Prairie Stream, and Pacifism. You can have exactly 13 copies of Triskaidekaphobia in your deck. I don't know. Black-White Control is definitely a tier 1 deck right now. So if you're looking for tournament success, you probably can't go wrong there. But I do like this deck. I also haven't played it very much, but I think this deck is decent, hopefully. So I guess if you're looking for tournament success, I would probably still lean towards Black-White Control. Oh, we lost our... That's fine, because we have another Starfield. Now we get to do some beating down. And Prairie Stream, pass the turn. Tireless Tracker. Well, they got the Evolving Wilds, but I think this is a case of too little too late for our opponent. We just get to get back a Deadweight or a Pacifism, swing with our janky board of enchantments. Deadweight. Deadweight. Oath of Jace, Demonic Pact. I guess we just kill Tireless Tracker that way. We have so many ways of winning this game. And another Demonic Pact. Well, so far so good. 1-0 with Starfield Pact. What did I say, Ewok Slaughter? I can't remember. I got your name very wrong the first time. I remember that much. Humans are most popular, just don't win so often with tokens. We're in a standard, friendly standard league, a T4 Caustic. 5-0, the dream is alive and well. So, update 1-0. So let's see. Let me see if I can find the link for the playmats. Alright, match 2 incoming. So, if you want to play mat, could anyone recommend a resource for legacy content? Interesting. Is the source still active? Yeah, I guess 0 Silk Wraps. We are pacifying instead. Yeah, the Super Friends deck is pretty absurd. Blake, thank you for the follow. Alright, Prairie Stream, go. I'm trying to think of legacy-specific content out there. I don't know about how long until we're Twitch partnered, but I wouldn't think long. Like, we are at the level where everything is where it's supposed to be. Like, everything, we are meeting all the requirements, so it's just a matter of, I guess, it being long enough, for one thing. Like, I don't know what the time frame is. They don't publish that. Like, they want you to have so many views and things like that, but they don't publish, like, how long you have to keep that up for. Jason the Mind Sculptor, thanks for the follow. Moto is a great place if you want to play Vintage and Legacy. Highly recommended. You're way more likely to be able to have tournaments. It's cheaper. I think Wizards is pushing their support of those formats onto Magic Online. So if you're interested in those, by all means, get on Magic Online. Thank you. Oh, man, I missed a couple follows. Glorious Most, also whoever followed right before you. 5,000 follows. Awesome, everyone. Thank you so much. And we recently passed 30K on the YouTube channel, so thank you all for that, too. If you haven't followed either of the YouTube channels, definitely do that. The main one is where Against the Odds and Budget Magic are, YouTube-MTG Goldfish. And then the replay channel, MTG Goldfish Replay, is where all the stream replays are. I think they're holding those back to make more money with them. That's my expectation of those cards missing. Is that they're gonna do something. Vintage Masters 2, or, I don't know. Masks Remastered. Something janky. Is this the same deck, Bant Humans? What is everyone playing Bant Humans these days? Apparently. Hey, thanks, for the follow. Should do a 24-hour stream since I reached 5,000 subs. That's an interesting idea. That's a lot of hours. The problem with me, like, streaming longer is there's a lot of... I spend a lot of time making content. Like, I don't have as much time as other people to just stream. Because if I stream for like 8 hours, then we're not going to have budget magic or something for the week. Like, that's the trade-off that we run into. Well, we get to slam a Sorin, and it's not just immediately going to die, or it shouldn't. So let's Sorin, kill Reflector Mage. If we can just defend the Sorin's pretty sweet. A 5,000 hour stream? Good lord, how long is that in human time? Out of curiosity, can you explain your position, MTG Goldfish? Are you the creator? No, I am not the creator. Richard created MTG Goldfish in 2013, I believe. And then I came on... when he decided he wanted to start doing content, like, I guess October 2014, I think, is when my first article was. Double Tireless Tracker. So I came on then, just doing freelance articles, and it's kind of snowballed into videos and all this other stuff. And now I am the content manager. So Richard does all the technical stuff, and he owns the site. And I am full-time content director, manager for the site. So I wasn't there in the beginning, but I've been there as long... I think I wrote the very first article on MTG Goldfish, actually. So as long as there has been content on MTG Goldfish, I have been a part of it. This feels bad, but I guess we gotta just Angelic Purge. I was really hoping to draw Languish or something. Do pro players go on MTG Goldfish? Yes, I believe they do. For deck lists and articles and so forth. Did I write articles for other sites before Goldfish? I did not. I wrote on Reddit. That's where I started. I had been, my history in Magic is I started playing in like Shadowmoor Ravnica casually, and then I got interested in buying collections and the financial aspect. So I started doing that in, I don't know, 2008, 2009. And then I started writing because I like to write and just posting like EV calculations and different stuff on the MTG Finance subreddit. We're getting wrecked here. Deadweight? Alright. Yeah, even if we draw Languish, we're still dead. Well, that was a lot of lands. So that's how it started for me. So I never really wrote for another site, but I did write articles like on Reddit. So that's, people ask a lot about, oh, I want to get started in doing content, like how do you do that? And in my experience, Messy Man, thanks for the follow. In my experience, the answer is just do it. Like, that's what I did. I didn't even have a goal to get into making content. Like, that wasn't what I set out to do. I just felt like I had expertise in some areas because I had been selling cards and buying collections for a long time, and wanted to share that. And I started doing it, and people seemed to like it, and that's where it went. So that would be my advice. If you want to make content and build your audience. And sounds silly, but it is kind of, if you build it, they will come. Like, if you make good content and original content and are likable and all that stuff, people will find you. The websites are looking for people that can make good content. So if you can make good content, just make content and trust that it'll happen. Norman Dahl, thank you for the follow. Are you going to play Momir if there's time today? Yes, I will, but I don't think there's time. It seems unlikely. I got a sideboard. This is the same match as before. I guess we're going to bring in Cletus's this time. I don't know what we're cutting, though. I like all the removal. I don't want to cut anything. I guess we can cut Anguish Unmaking. Feels bad. Saffron Olive. I guess I haven't told that story yet today, so I will tell it. I got the nickname Saffron from an old drunken Vietnam vet neighbor I had. And it stuck, and all my friends started calling me that. Thank you for the follow, by the way. And then I was in a band called Olive Drab and the Etcetras, where everyone's last name was Olive as part of the gimmick. So I became Saffron Olive, and then that was my Reddit name when I first joined Reddit. And Goldfish was kind of originally intended to be somewhat tied to Reddit with the content, and it just stuck. And then people started knowing me as Saffron Olive, so I couldn't really get rid of it at that point because I was afraid it would really confuse people if I just switched to Seth and everyone knew me as Saffron Olive. Be like, hey, who's that Seth person? Yeah, we're actually working on getting bot commands set up. I think Richard is actually working on that as we speak. What instrument did I play in the band? In Olive Drab, I played primarily keyboard. But I've also played guitar in other bands, and even have sang in a band before, so. But guitar and keyboard mostly. Been practicing shuffling. Oh my goodness. Oh, don't even talk to me about shuffling. So I don't know if you saw this, but a while ago, probably December, we had some sleeve reviews come out on the site. So I had to write these sleeve reviews, and part of the thing with the sleeve reviews is I actually had to shuffle the sleeves. So we had, I don't even know, some ungodly number of sleeves, maybe 50 different kinds of sleeves, and I had to shuffle them for like a half hour each. I think I rewatched the entire series of Breaking Bad while I was shuffling. I was getting like blisters on my fingers to write those those stupid sleeve reviews. Oh, those are good days. It's like, I'll see you next week. I'm going to be watching Breaking Bad and shuffling. Who's the person who posts all the Budget Magic videos under the name? I do not know. I do not know who Cum Guzzler 5000 is. I know that Moobot. I think it's Moobot. Posts against the odds a lot of the time. And he's a big League of Legends person. I don't know much about League of Legends. I actually had to ask. Like, the first time Moobot posted one of the against the odds, everyone in the chat was freaking out. Like, oh, wow, I don't know. Like, I didn't know that Moobot came to the MTG subreddit. I was like, who's this Moobot guy? Apparently, he is a big deal. It's Richard. That's your Reddit name, Richard? Your secret underground Reddit account? Oh, Moobot. Same difference. Yes, it is Mooby. I told you I don't follow League of Legends. It's still kind of embarrassing, though. Oh, come on, don't flip. I can't believe we didn't hit a land there. That was bad news. Land? Alright, I guess we gotta kill that. Alright. Pass the turn. We got a new mod. Nightbot. Followed by Moobot. They're friends. Lil, thank you for the follow. So what are the best sleeves? Oh man, I don't remember now. I really liked... There were some of the Japanese sleeves that I really liked. They shuffled well. They lasted a long time. I would have to look back to remember the name, though. They were some not super common name. If we don't draw lands, we're... Alright, that's a land. Which means, I guess... Oh... Alright, we're going to slam Cletus. We could play Demonic Pact, but then it gets negated. Problem with Cletus is... Cletus doesn't get negated, but it gets Dromoka's commanded. But they already played a Dromoka's command. I think this is smarter. Sir, thank you for the follow. Wow, Nightbot's classier than I realized. After a while, it all kind of blended together. A lifetime of shuffling all crushed into 1 week. Rotfers, thanks for the follow. No, they weren't. They were plain sleeves. They weren't anime sleeves or anything like that. Well, things are looking grim. We really need... If we hit lands, I think we would have won. Zao, thanks for the follow. Mirage. Mirage, of all the non-promos, Mirage is by far my favorite basics. Also, anything with white border if I want to tilt people. Oh, we're going to get blown out by Collected Company here. We don't have double white for Stasis Snare. Angelic Purge hitting one of our own lands means we never play anything. Alright, well, we're going to slam Demonic Pact and hope that we don't just die to Collected Company. If they negate, then they can't Collected Company. That's the thing. There's Collected Company. Thalia's Lieutenant. Only Thalia's Lieutenant? Ooh, alright. That's not bad. All they got is a 1-1 out of that Collected Company. Where did this list come from? This was another Japanese list, actually, from... I still can't say that, the website name. Hallelujah in Japanese. Hareruya. I just feel wrong every time I say that. Elger, thank you for the follow. But it's another Japanese list. I've been digging deep for the instant deck techs, going all the way across the world to bring you the most interesting decks. Well, we're not just dead, but this still isn't good. We're taking 9. Then we get to Thalia's, shoot down Thalia's lieutenant. I guess this is okay if when that dies we get a zombie, which is pretty good. Ooh, and a land. Alright, things are sort of looking up. They are leaving up negate, apparently. Let's just stay back on defense. I don't know how to say it right. And when I apparently when I say it right, it feels like I'm saying it wrong, and it just feels like I'm, I don't know, mocking them or being racist or something. It just sounds odd to me. So I feel like I'm saying it wrong even though I'm saying it right, apparently. I don't know. Nissa, sure. Yeah, maybe that's it. That it just sounds weird. I mean, it can't really be racist. They're Japanese and they name their site that. And they have an English site. Like, it's not like I shouldn't say the name of their company. It just feels weird to say for some reason that I don't completely understand. If you're looking for foil Japanese cards, though, check out their English website. You can get awesome deals on foreign foil cards through their website. And they ship to the US, and they ship pretty quickly. It's pretty sweet all around. Alright, so let's block there. Deal 2 damage. And now we're going to attempt to... what are we going to bounce? Bounce. I don't want to bounce any of their stuff. Alright, let's... I guess bounce Nissa, kill the werewolf. I'm expecting this to get hit by negate anyway. Yeah, they are a really good site, so... There's the negate. Untap. We are just going to... Let's make our opponent discard. Get them empty-handed. This deck does play long games. I don't even know if we're going to make it through this entire league before Commander Clash. Woo! Alright, well, let's just languish. Like, yeah, we lose our Kalitas, but we get a... This seems very good. Our opponent's empty-handed. We languish. Get a bunch of zombies. The only scary thing is if they find a way to... If they draw another negate, we could get blown out. So let's attack with all our zombies. Alright, let's play the Prairie stream, stop on our opponent's upkeep. Well, we do not stream it live. No way! Are you for real? That was their top deck? Oh! Oh, nice fake opponent. Oh, they really got me thinking they drew that negate. Yeah, we got it with Slumgar's command. I was just worried that they had a negate. They had one card in hand, though. Alright. Well, we are grinding our way ahead. I stopped on their upkeep Fire Lice, so they couldn't. Yeah, we can bounce a land with it, but we had to bounce the Pact, so the only other option was kill a creature. You can't choose the bounce option twice. Yeah, I could have sacked the Pact to Purge, yeah. But we would have died still, because Purge is a sorcery. Okay. Are you talking about sacking the... Yes, we could have sacked it to Angelic Purge, but that's the same... I wanted the Demonic Pact back in our hand, though. Why would I... I'm very confused. Shambling Vents go. I think it's exclamation point in card name brings up a card. There's a Thalia's Lieutenant. Come on! 1 mana removal enchantment. Ugh, another Angelic Purge. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, yes, yes. It would have taken care of the negate issue, you're right. Oh, man. This is bad. Double Thalia's Lieutenant is... That's a bad draw for us to beat. Let's get a Plains. Oh, alright. Well. Come on, Languish next turn. Come on, play. Oh. They're not going to play anything? Alright. Oh. Nightbot's being a little frisky. Sunken Hollow. So if we cast Languish here and they negate, we likely lose. If they collected company into 2 creatures, I think we still just gotta cast it. Yeah, I think... Well, I'll have to look at Nightbots. There should... Ooh, well that's good. It resolves, so we're not just dead. They do have collected company. I'll have to look at the link thing, because we do want people to be able to post links and not get timed out. But we'll get it figured out. We're just setting up the Nightbot right now, so... Yeah, no worries. We're just trying to get Nightbot figured out, so... You did nothing wrong. Well, there's another Thalia's Lieutenant. And a Sigarda. Oh my god. This is looking grim. So we're dead to a creature? Well, Sunken Hollow. Stasis Snare. Get the Sigarda. But I think we're dead. Hey, thanks, Jay-Z. Yep. Alright. Oh. Well, being on the draw is apparently rough in those matchups. Well, I'm glad you enjoy the site. Glad to hear that it's beneficial for people. Yeah, apparently we just play Bet Humans every round. See, this is why I don't like using leagues for recording Budget Magic and Against the Odds. Because there are definitely times when you just run into those, but you pay so many ticks that it's hard to just scoop in a league. But in a 2-player queue, scooping isn't bad. It's inexpensive enough that it's worth it in some situations. Alright, let's upgrade this to 1-1. Or downgrade, I guess. Yes, dude. You've been replaced by a bot. What's tonight's Against the Odds theme? Oh my goodness, this was an interesting one. We have Coalition Victory, which was the winner of last week's poll. Oh, I'm glad you enjoy the laugh, Pedro. Like Frank Lepore before he got serious? Well, I don't think you have to worry about me becoming serious. I don't take that as an insult. I like Frank. Is there a way on Twitch to fast forward to real time? Oh, you mean because of the delay? There's just always a delay on Twitch. No amount of fast forwarding can fix that. Do you do Against the Odds in Paper Magic? I don't play Paper Magic very often, so no, not really. That could be interesting, though. If I ever accidentally qualify for a Pro Tour. Against the Odds, confirmed. What's in the background? This is... the Effed Up Beat is the band. So far, we are 1-1. MTGO meta is Bat Humans versus my decks. It does seem like we've been playing Bat Humans a lot lately. Artomi, thank you for the follow. Oh, well, if you're having trouble with like buffering, there is video quality options. If you click the settings at the bottom, you can move it down to low or something. Thanks for the follow, Burn Deck. Burn Deck. Big Iron Nuts, thank you for the follow. Well, I don't think you have to worry about me playing on a Pro Tour, because I haven't really put any effort into playing on a Pro Tour. And I punt a lot, if you haven't noticed. I mean, not a lot, but more than probably your typical pro. Yeah, the Against the Odds CSL was pretty sweet. Also, the Momir one was also pretty good. I don't know about this week is what is this one? Tribal Wars? Legacy Tribal Wars? I don't really know what that is. David, thank you for the follow. Alright, we got a match, finally. Listening like it's on the radio? Well, I appreciate you tuning in, even though you're listening to it radio style. Oh, this is... Okay. I got my weeks messed up. Thank you, Blaster Man. No ban list modern. I don't know why I was thinking that was Tribal Wars. Well, no ban list modern is sweet. Although, if anyone's CSL's tomorrow, it should be Skull Clamp versus Skull Clamp versus Skull Clamp. Like there's no other way about it. when Randy Bueller did his Gauntlet of Greatness, it was like Skullclap Affinity versus Skullclamp Elves, I think, were the final 2 decks. And Elves won. Or maybe it was Skullclamp Death and Taxes, or some sort of white Skullclamp deck. But it was 2 Skullclamp decks that just cruised through the entire tournament. So that's, I mean, I don't think there's any doubt about it that that's the right thing to do. Skullclamp is insanely busted. Yeah, Blazing Shoal, in fact, is... Oh, this is the Brainless Brain deck that Martin Mueller is playing. It's basically the Brain in the Jar deck, except it doesn't play Brain in a Jar. I don't know how this matchup will be. Thanks for the follow, lad. Hypergenesis, yeah, that's a good one as well. But Skullclamp is just an absurd card. If I had to predict the winner, I guess there's not really even a winner on CSL in the traditional sense, because it's just all one-match games, but if I had to predict, I would say a Skullclamp deck is going to do well. So our opponent's going to start gaining life, anticipating. Yes, this deck, and I don't even think they play any counters in the main deck. We beat Bat Humans D-Many, and then lost to Bat Humans, both in long 3K matches. This deck does not win quick, and now we're up against Brainless Brains. Let's just draw here. Man, another Demonic Pact would be risky. The downside is we have a lot of dead cards. Yeah, let's just do this. We have all these dead cards that don't do anything in this matchup. This might be the game where we lose to our own Demonic Pact, come to think of it. Skullclamp is fun to play. What do I think of the Blue-Red Flyers deck? It's very similar to the deck I played on Budget Magic, actually. It seems good. I think the format standard is in a place where 2/1 Flyers with Flash are just good cards. Let's make our opponent discard. Let's make our opponent discard. Just make them discard 6. Because I think we're just going to play Starfield this turn anyway. Oh no, they discarded 2 Nagging Thoughts? Oh, blown out. Are they going to end with just as many cards in hand as they started with? We have Starfield of Nyx to animate it into creatures. We have Slumgar's Command, Anguished Unmaking, and something else. We're going to have to start removing him pretty quick, though. Oh, Angelic Purge is the other one. So, Prairie Stream and Starfield of Nyx. The problem is we can't even turn these on. We can't deadweight anything because our opponent doesn't have creatures. We can't pacify anything. We can Stasis Snare for no value. Our opponent goes with the Rise from the Tides? Okay, sure. That's actually good for us. That was the best thing that could have happened. So we get to deal 4 damage to one of those. Then we're going to draw 2 cards. So now we Oath of Jace, discard. Ooh, this isn't going to work, is it? I think I just killed us to our own pact. Well, maybe that'll work. Well, let's see. This could work. I actually don't know if this will work or not. I guess we're about to learn something here. So, let's see if we... I think we can actually just stasis snare. So we play an island. We cast stasis snare. Hopefully it activates everything. And then we can choose our demonic pact. Oh, this is creature and opponent controls? Oh, yeah, now we are literally dead. All right. Oh, we didn't have enough mana for that. Interesting. Well, negates seem pretty solid against this deck. Also, Vessel is probably good against this deck. We got to get rid of this creature removal, which is so bad. We're going to die to our demonic pact was the problem. Oh, could I? Oh, maybe I could have done that. You're right. Yeah, I guess that could be a punt. But I think we're still going to die. Yes, yes. Pacifism, double, right. Yes, I agree. That would have been better. Well, let's get rid of all the bad removal that we don't need to sack our pact. Bring in basically anything. And probably something like this. So Virulent Plagues, Vessels, tons of negates. We got to keep the Purges in Anguish and Makings for our packs. Guy, thank you for the follow. Oh, I don't look at punting as a bad thing. Like, I try not to punt, but it happens. Hopefully it's funny when it does. Well, we're all in on the packs. See if that's good enough. Yeah, the deck is fun. I don't know how great it is, but it is definitely fun. Island for our opponent. We are going to need our 4th land. Alright, there it is. Caves, go. Well, thanks, D-Many. Another land for our opponent. So do they bring in counters after board? Anticipate. Ooh, dying to the pack in limited. Yeah, that'll happen. Island. And... so we can just start playing packs here? Yeah, now we can. Start packing it up. So, oh, and we have a way to remove it. That's good. So, Demonic Pact, number 1. Opponent's up to 4 lands, and Jace's Sanctum, interesting. Well, I think we're going to go with... Let's draw. I love drawing. Alright. How scary is Jace's Sanctum? I guess we can play another Pact and pretty much make our opponent do something here. We can make them discard 4. What was the genre of my band? Olive Drab was like a mod revival band, like 60s throwback stuff, but mostly indie rock related stuff. This is the blue prison deck. Brainless Brains. Our opponent, I don't know why they're playing that. Don't you want to discard that to the Pact? And I don't understand this. Why are they storming off when we're gonna make them discard a bunch of cards? Very confusing. Seems like holding those cards would be better. So let's do target opponent discards 2. Target opponent discards 2. Days Undoing, Island. We get a Prairie Stream. Now what? Do we gotta kill this Jace's Sanctum? I haven't seen any Demonic Pact donate decks in older formats yet. Well, they just discarded a bunch of lands. Yeah, I guess we can just purge one of our packs. Playing Sorin would be nice, though. Let's play Sorin. What's the worst they're gonna do to us? Sorin draws us cards, and it starts killing them. Ooh, Virulent Plague is also pretty nice. What's up, Manic? How goes it? Yeah, we can get rid of our pack with Angelic Purge, one of them. Well, our opponent's going to be able to gain a bunch of life. They're down to 2 cards, though. Days Undoing. Interesting. Well, that's fine. Well, hopefully that's fine. It's fine as long as we don't lose to our own Demonic Pact. That would be bad. Well, let's deal some damage and draw 2 cards. We are going to need to find an answer. Alright, there's Angelic Purge. So, we're not dead yet. So, step 1. Angelic Purge on Sanctum. Sacking the pack that's about to kill us. Opponent's going to anticipate. Yeah, I guess the emblem is better. But I think Sorin can win. We can win by just taking it up. We do have to get rid of our other pact at some point. And then take up Sorin. What did we get? Events? Well, let's... Can they combo off here and win? Not really. So let's just Oath of Jace. We need to find another Pact answer. We did not find one. Well, pitch a Virulent Plague and a Prairie Stream. Play Shambling Vent. Pass the turn. I don't know. We are kind of at risk of dying to our pact again. Anticipates, gains some life. Well, we get to scry one with Oath of Jace. Pump up Sorin. We really need another Angelic Purge. Slumgar's Command could also do it. What's up, Scratched? Yeah, I don't think we're planning on ultimating Sorin too often. So we get to hit our opponent. Come on. Sunken Hollow to the bottom. Come on, answer. Shambling Vent. Take up Sorin. Oath of Jace. Well, Oath of Jace means we're still drawing live. Second Oath of Jace. Come on, Angelic Purge. Oh my god. Oh. Alright, well, that took a lot of doing. So let's discard Prairie Stream and Caves. Play Prairie Stream in a nick of time. Kill a prism ring, of all things. Sacking Demonic Pact. And we even get to leave up a negate. Whoo! Alright. We're doing good. We can ultimate Sorin if we want to, and then play a Virulent Plague. Get him. We are trying not to die to our own demonic packs, back alley. I don't even think I care about this. Like, sure, you get another turn. Fine. When you make another land drop? And it exiles apart the Water Veil, so even if they're getting him back, it doesn't do anything. Nagging Thoughts. Think if they had Brain in the jar instead of Prism Ring. Our opponent's playing the new mono blue prison deck from Martin Mueller. Pretty much brainless brain in a jar. Pretty close to that. Our opponent's probably setting up for, you know, Nagging Thoughts. Seemed like they were trying to set up for a Days Undoing, but... Nagging Thoughts again. Opponent passes. We get Scry. Evolving Wilds, definitely to the bottom. Anguish and Making, not bad. Well, let's take up Sorin. Swamp. Play our Virulent Plague. Opponent is going to attempt to negate. Alright, we'll let that go, I think. I think we're going to leave up the negate. That's fine. Can we play a land still? We can. Alright, so we can play Vessel. Dark Shiny, thank you for the follow. And then sack Vessel, exile cards from our opponent's hand. That's true. There isn't too much interaction going on. So our opponent's down to one card. We got rid of an island and a Nagging Thoughts. Rise from the Tides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zombies? That's it? Alright. Sure. We'll just make 27 1/1s with lifelink. How's that sound? Scry. We'll keep Slumgar's Command. Another counter. And then Ultimate Sorin. I've never ultimated Sorin before. Definitely not with 21 lives. Or 27 life. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Yeah, I guess we can just play Shambling Vent. Pass the turn. Alright, opponent, what do you got? We have double counter up, so I think our vampires are going to get there. Anticipate. Sure. I guess that's fine. Yeah, maybe I should have negated. I don't know. I don't think... It's just not that scary. 5 zombies isn't that scary. When you can make 27 1/1s with lifelink. Oh, thanks, Dark Shiny. Yeah, Against the Odds is fun. I can't believe I win half the games either. Ooh, Engulf the Shore. Alright, so we're gonna counter that. So, negate. Opponent goes with negate. That's also going to be quite the stack. So let's Slumgar's Command. counter a non-creature spell, engulf the shore, and then bounce Jace's Sanctum. Alright. We survived. We don't just have lethal, though. Not quite. But our opponent's out of action. They just have that Sanctum left. So we can attack for... We can't attack for lethal no matter what. I guess if we hit something big with Sorin. Against odds is really good, but still I'd like to see more matchups or... Not enough matchups with Bat Humans for you? You probably could make a similar deck to the Psychogenic Probe one without Probe. With a different win condition. The exiling stuff actually worked pretty well. I actually wasn't sure I was going to ultimate Sorin at all, but they kind of forced our hand when they made some zombies. And another negate's good. Well, now we'll play a second Sorin. Maybe we'll just ultimate Sorin again. That would be sweet. Yeah, the Probe one was pretty entertaining. It was a fun deck to play. So 29. We swing with everything. Alright, let's just tick up Sorin again. Obnixilus. Well, we're not going to play Obnixilus yet. We'll swing with many of our tokens, but leave some black back to block. Yeah, I just value negate highly. I figured that... And their graveyard wasn't that full, which was their bigger problem. Like, when you're making 20 zombies, Rise from the Grave is insane. But when you're just casting it to make 5 zombies, that's not even really that good of a card. Alright, they replay the Sanctum, gain a couple life. But we have negate. We'll just negate whatever we play and then we win. Pour over pages. We negate that. And that should do it. They get to scry. They're at 11. But we have more than enough for lethal. Oh, well, that was quite the grind fest. Jeez, these games are taking like an hour each. Yeah, you missed a Sorin ultimate. On to round 3. Or game 3 of round 3. No Philadelphia Sovereign. That would have been good there. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. I am not literally going to turn into Frank. Oh. I was one off lethal with Anguish Unmaking. Yeah, I didn't really count it. It felt like I wasn't. Now, why did you have to go and write an article on the Blue-Red Eldrazi control? He was enjoying being under the radar for the last few weeks. Yeah, the deck looked pretty sweet. 2 lands, negate, double Starfield. Alright, we're on the draw. This is fine. White, red, green is Naya, Dark Shiny. We're not going to time out against this deck. We're more likely to lose because we just don't draw lands. That's a possibility. Shambling Vent, go. Evolving Wilds, go. All the Prism Rings. Kind of hope our opponent just casts a Days Undoing. That would be sweet for us. Get our island. Land? Alright, Evolving Wilds. Go. Yeah, Starfield is not legendary. Starfield's pretty good. Alright, let's crack this. Get a Black Source. Land? Oh, we're so lucky. We are the luckiest. Kept the 2-lander and got there. Alright, they negate our pact. We're going to get them empty-handed soon, though, from this vessel. And then it's hard to imagine us losing, especially since we can just Starfield to start getting this stuff back. So let's vessel, sack vessel, put our opponent down to 1 card, get rid of, double part the water veil. Alright, I think it's all over now. Am I Canadian? I am not. I am from upstate New York, so not that far from Canada, but American. We probably just want, I don't think it matters, a white source. Ooh, Slumgar's Command too. Well, now we have the Starfield and Pact loop, which is sweet. Alright, they managed to hold on to another negate. They're at 1 card though, and we got another Starfield that can get back Starfield in the Finger Lakes region of New York. Alright, another Starfield. Hopefully they don't have the 3rd negate. They do not. Now it's pretty much all over. Anticipate. Can we meet and hold hands with the NY Slice? Maybe someday, Tristan. Alright, I think we just Starfield, get back Starfield to make sure. Now we have Vessel to make our opponent discard every turn. That's one of the sweet locks in this deck, is it's really hard to beat Vessel, like discard 2 every turn. Pick it up 32. Alright, I think we got this. Our opponent said that he is a fan of the videos and is enjoying the games, so that's cool. Is there against the odds battle of wits? There is in Legacy. So let's get back Vessel, get back a Demonic Pact. And then let's just play Oath of Jace to turn our stuff on. And now it's pretty much over. We got negate for backup. Another blue source would be alright. Engulf the shore. Alright. Let's negate engulf the shore. And we did get our blue source, so we can discard Plague and Anguish Unmaking. Play Prairie Stream, beat down for 10. And actually, maybe we just sack Vessel and get our opponent literally empty-handed. And turns off all our stuff so it doesn't get bounced by something random. They had a negate and apart the water veil. Yeah, door to nothing. I gotta put that one on the poll. Oh, thanks, Sebastian. Hello from the U.S. I'm glad you enjoy the pronunciations. And we got the GGs. And Void Shatter was our opponent's draw. Alright. 2-1. 2-1. We're getting there slowly but surely. This deck is not quick. That is very true. I think Wizards could put Omen in Eldritch Moon. Since Ponder is too powerful for Modern and Standard, I wouldn't mind a 2 CMC version. Yeah, I mean, I think that would be a reprintable card. I don't think that's just way too good for Standard, so I think that that's possible. What's up, Shroud? Just, playing some Starfield in Standard. Pretty sweet. There's also, what's the old bad one? I think it's 1 mana, but you don't have the option to shuffle, and you don't draw until the next upkeep. Is there an against the odds tonight? Do you know when? Yes, there is against the odds tonight. I do not know exactly what time, though, but there is one tonight. Do I speculate on cards in my article? I do not. At this point, I used to have to buy the actual cards for my deck, so I'd have a whatever I needed to play the deck. At this point, I don't usually even buy the cards for the deck. I just borrow them. So I don't really have anything to gain by the cards increasing in price. Squish, thank you for the follow. What's up, J40? It's going well. Yeah, important. That's what I was thinking of. Do you have an update to the Elite deck with some new cards? I haven't done an update to that one yet. 4 Puddles or something. I just got the very end of it. Thanks for the follow. Keep my word and ask you once a week until it's posted. When are we... still waiting for the Primal Surge videos. Okay, we gotta do that. Do you think the eBay of Eternal Masters box is 200 if prices changed at all? I'm sure they've changed some, but I don't think they've changed significantly. Bar Laroth, thank you for the follow. My voice is very similar to Sebastian from Sabin lore. Or Sabin? What is Sabin lore? Oh, okay. I think I've seen this YouTube before. Alright. We got an Oath of Jace. That means it's a keeper. Ab, thank you for the follow. Yeah, you can't really see the sideboard. Let's see if this works. Apparently not. It was worth a shot. Alright, I can link the deck list. I thought maybe that would work. But we don't have that one set up yet. What are we playing today? Oh, this is Starfield. There you go. Our opponent is passing. Hey, Nightbot, you came through for me. Yeah, tonight is Coalition victory against the odds. Oh my goodness, it is, it's an interesting one. I'm not going to spoil any of it, but it was a very interesting against the odds episode, I think. Now, this was one of the instant deck decks, actually, this Pact deck, so it was fairly popular. Nowhere as popular, whoa, White Eldrazi? Nowhere as popular as Slivers, which apparently everyone loves Slivers. And I think today's Super Friends one is pretty popular too, just because it's so ridiculous. Against the odds is usually sometime between 9 and midnight Eastern time, although it might be a little earlier sometimes, because I think Richard is actually on the East Coast this week, and he's the one that actually physically posts the article, so it might be a little earlier, but I'm really not sure. Usually between 9 and midnight Eastern time, though. So we'll crack Evolving Wilds. We're going to need to Languish at some point. Get a Plains. What color is Coalition victory? Real time? I don't know what real time is. I thought Eastern time was real time, because that's where I live. Anything recommend for changes to free win red deck in a few months? No, I haven't worked on it much recently, so I don't really have any big changes for it at the moment. Let's pitch a Oath of Jace and a Swamp. Greenwich meat time? Greenwich meat time. Oh. I don't know. What is Eastern time? I think it's like minus 800 or something like that. So I'm not very good with time zones, international time zones. Untap.in, it's a free browser service where you can play MTG. I am not familiar with that, D-Many. I'll have to look into it. Is it like solitary games, or are you actually playing against other people? Oh man. Well, language should be alright here. No scry. Prairie Stream. Hopefully our opponent doesn't hit anything too crazy off their matter reshapers. Languish. Matter Shaper number 1 gets an Evolving Wilds. Fair enough. Number 2, Corrupted Crossroads. Alright, 2 for 2 with land, so we ramped our opponent a bit. Thanks, Minnie. Oh, okay, so I've seen things like that before. Cockatrice, and there's been different things like that before. I haven't seen that specific one. It must be basically similar to X-Mage or Cockatrice or whatever it is. Those games, I don't know. Those I have never been super impressed with those, but not that they're horrible, but they're just not all that appealing to me. My experience when I've played those a little bit is I've gotten lots of people that scoop or don't understand the rules, which leads to frustrating situations. So for me, it's just not really my thing. I guess we're going to get rid of Reality Smasher, discard a Languish. Cryptolith, right? This deck is spicy. X-Mage has rule enforcement? Interesting. How do they get tokens? Call of the Scions. Are they trying to get up to... Well, I guess we just Languish. This feels weird, but... I'm really worried that they're going to play Ulamog and exile our lands. Will I ever play Hearthstone? On stream? I don't know. I do play Hearthstone a little bit. As odd as it sounds, sometimes I play Hearthstone to relax from playing Magic. Because it feels like Magic where I don't have to think very much. It's worse than Magic overall, but it is slightly Magic-y. What are they searching out with their Sanctum? Reality Smasher. Ew. Well, we're just going to lose to this, aren't we? This is a really janky... Yeah, that's the part that drives me crazy. Hearthstone is, like, always Momir. 100% of the time you're playing Momir. Which can be pretty infuriating. Oh, man. How do we get out of this? Alright, I guess we gotta pass. Well, we can't counter Reality Smasher, unfortunately. It only counters non-creatures. So we're gonna have to bounce and... Shrinking Smasher feels bad, though, because then we got a discard. Is it worth discarding? I mean, I like Momir, but if Momir was the only Magic I could ever play, I would not like it. Yeah, we're definitely playing towards Sorin next turn. I guess we can discard Pact. Is Shrinking Reality Smasher worth it? I guess it buys us a turn. Yeah, we got a discard, though. I don't know if I like that plan. Yeah, I guess we have to. Jeez, this feels horrible. Yeah, I guess we gotta discard. This means we live next turn still. So discard Pact. Even if we don't draw land, we can kind of just do the same thing. Whoa, they didn't even attack. That was interesting. Yeah, it's awesome. Alright. They only got one Reality Smasher. Alright, Starfield, go. I don't know if this is going to work, but it's worth a shot. Yeah, they have another Reality Smasher. Interesting deck. Yeah, by discarding there, we left open the ability to do it again the following turn and buy us an extra turn to draw the land for Sorin. When if we hadn't done that there, we would have taken 5, and then if we Slumguard command to shrink Reality Smasher the following turn, we would have still died. Oh, Skynes. Well, thank you. What do we want against this deck? I only saw one. Did he sack both Sanctums? Maybe I'm just losing it. I kept looking in the window there, but I only saw one of them. Well, it seems like our removal should be good. This seems like it should be a good matchup, or a decent matchup. Archangel's fine. Obnixilis I want. We'll go down a dead weight. Let's just run it like this. Well, good luck falling to sleep. If you're sick, that's a good thing to do. Get some rest. Alright, we get to play first. Alright, all removal. Stasis Snares line up well with our opponent, though. Sunken Hollow, go. Caves. I mean, pacifism can hit bigger creatures. I guess that's the biggest thing. Like, if our opponent has a Thought-Knot Seer, it's much better. Alright, Pact is good if we get to it. Yeah, that's the main thing. I mean, pacifism is better than... Pacifism is better than Silk Wrap if the creature doesn't have any sort of activated abilities. It's just more versatile. Well, Cantus Tropus, that's awesome. I'm glad that you're watching MTG because you like my personality and voice. That's a big compliment. Thank you. Here, pacifism isn't too exciting. Silk Wrap would probably be better. We'll just pass. I don't really want to use a removal spell on a 1/1 endless one. You guys gonna do an Eternal Mastered theme Commander Clash? That seems like a good theme. I could see that. Thought Knot comes down. I guess we just let this go and then probably Stasis Snare to try to find a land. 3 Wasteland Stranglers alongside. This is a different list. This is someone else's list, a Japanese list. A Prozac. Thank you for the follow. Definitely appreciate it. So is this a real deck, this Eldrazi deck? It seems odd to me with the Cryptolithrites. Have I just been looking over this deck, or is this a real thing? What's up, Adam? Welcome. So our opponent takes Languish. Well, we're going to Stasis Snare this Thought-Knot Seer. Hopefully, It pays off. We really need to draw lands for a demonic pact, so I think we're kind of cycling stasis snare essentially. To another stasis snare. Oh, so many purges and stasis snares. I have to say, Adam, you were involved in one of my all-time favorite coverage moments, and I'm sure you remember this, but you were playing a storm deck. Thank you, everyone, for the follows. You were playing a storm deck, and I don't remember all the details, but basically you had to trick your opponent into casting an extirpate effect to have a lethal tendrils, and somehow you maneuvered into a scenario where you got your opponent to cast the extirpate or surgical extraction on a useless card. Pretty impressive. For some reason, that still sticks out to me as one of my favorite coverage moments. So, all right, do we want to keep? Yeah, I guess we better stasis snare this displacer. Because it shuts down a lot of our other stuff. There's a land finally. It's tapped, unfortunately. Well, let's pass. Leave up another stasis snare. Rethomon, thank you for the follow. Do I think Nyx ramp has a niche in Modern? Well, I mean, it has a niche. I don't think it's super competitive. Oh, Lord. Oh, we're in a bad place now. I think we're pretty dead here. So they thought not. Well, I guess we can stasis snare the thought knot, and then angelic purge the world breaker. And we're kind of staying alive. Thanks for the follows, everyone. Yeah, I think that the mono green Nykthos deck, it's playable, but it's definitely tier 2 or tier 3. CSL is tomorrow night, playing no banless modern. Should be a good one, as someone reminded me. I don't know why I thought it was Tribal Wars. So we did not draw land. Our opponent has a world breaker. This is not too encouraging. Sorin that we can't cast. Actually, let's just pacify world breaker. See, pacifism, a little better than stasis snare when it comes to world breaker. If they have another world breaker, we're pretty done for. Does anyone have a good 8-rack deck list? I need to make sure my deck will work for Dallas Open. Are you playing 8-rack, or you want to play against 8-rack? What's a better modern budget deck? Yeah, we're just dead. I'm going to scoop it up. We don't have anything we can draw that gets us out of there. We just got too stuck on lands, and our opponent paid a lot of big things really fast. What's a better modern budget deck, 8-whack or mono red burn? I like the 8-rack deck, or 8-whack deck. I don't know, it's hard to say which one is better. It probably depends mostly on the metagame. But I think that I still see people playing in leagues and stuff versions of the Goblin stack. They usually play Goblin Guide as the biggest upgrade, but I think that's a legitimate deck. I see more people playing 8-whack than people playing mono red burn. The problem with burn is it's really awesome in its good matchups, mono red burn, but that deck really struggles against Leyline of Sanctity. Huh? Wait. Magical Gatherings, I swear. How do I go back to this league? I swear we played Magical Gatherings in the first round of the same league. Alright, I guess we'll see it later. Alright, we get to play first. So this should... I think this is the same person we played. Oh, here it is. What? What is going on, Moto? Why are you jumping onto my other monitor? Alright, forget it. Wasn't it Magical Gatherings that we played in the first round? Yeah, that's true. I guess that Magical Gatherings could have joined again. That name looks familiar, though. He might have just rejoined. That's a good point. We'll see. Before he was on Bant Humans. Magical Gatherings 2. Or maybe like one of the letters were inverted. That is good advice, Adam. I should draw more lands. That's a running theme in my videos, is begging Worth to give me a third land. Some would say that I should just learn how to mulligan. Or stop drawing Sorens when I only have 2 lands. So, man. Oh, that's so punishing. When they can flip a Lambholt Pacifist because you don't have any more lands. Yeah, that is a solution as well. But then I gotta take out spells! Spells are why we play the game. Alright. I don't think this was a horrible keep, considering that we were pretty sure our opponent was on Bant Humans, and Double Languish is really good. Well, sorry, Soren. I don't think we're gonna just play Legacy lands. That would solve the problem. Yeah, this was a pretty good 2-land hand. Like, Anguish Unmaking and Languish are fairly solid against Bant Humans. But we're pretty much dead. Well, there's a land. Ooh. Okay. Well, we got a Stasis Snare. There's some chance we can Stasis Snare and then untap and Languish, but our opponent still has 6 cards in hand, and we've been discarding. Let's do this now before our opponent gets another clue token. Yeah, I don't know how many lands... Oh, no! Dramoka's Command. I don't know if we have a good matchup against Bant Humans. We beat Magical Gatherings once, but... alright. I like our removal. Collected Company can be bad for us, though. Maybe we'll go down the Anguish Unmakings. Nahiri is what I was really afraid of. Nahiri seems insanely good against this deck, but we haven't run into a single Nahiri deck. Like, just coming down and exiling 2 enchantments for free is so good. How are we going to win the game without Soren, though? I guess we have Avacyn and Kalitas. Alright, we'll run it like that. Starfield is slow. It is. But it's also kind of the point of the deck. Thanks for the follow. So we'll see. We won this matchup once, so it's not impossible. We'll try it without Soren. We've already submitted, so we have to. Soren is nice, though, because it does help you come back. Like, it's a way we can get back some of the life that we lose in the early game. Any ideas on replacements for Avacyn and Kalitas in the sideboard? I'd have to think about it. Well, I got lands this time. All of them tapped, but Thanks, Josh. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, Starfield and Pact do work well together. Krovax, thank you for the follow. We do have sack outlets, so we can get back to Demonic Pact. We can beat down with Demonic Pact, but basically we can, like, Angelic Purge, sack our pack, get back the Demonic Pact with Starfield and so forth. Oh, Nightbot's after you, Ice Hot. You better watch out now that we got Nightbot here. Gleemax would be awesome in EDH if it was real. That's true. I'm sure there's lots of things that would be pretty solid in EDH if they were real. Alright, this is shaping up. We get to Oath, and then we have... Ooh, Double Languish? I'm kind of tempted to just discard Sunken Hollows. Because they're going to come into play tapped anyway. Yeah, our mana's good enough. I think we can do that. Yeah, an Oath of Gideon could be cool. Oath of Jace does the same thing with drawing cards, is the basic idea. You legend rule the Oath of Jace, draw 3, discard 2, do that every turn until your opponent just can't take it anymore. But Oath of Gideon would be good like that. 2 free 1/1s every turn. I guess it also adds a loyalty to our Sorin. Alright, we're going to just not take a chance and just languish here. Especially since we have 2 languishes. That seems like a pretty smart move. Opponent likely has Collected Company. Alright, let's get the pack down. We'll save Avacyn for next turn. I've been playing Green-White Company the last few weeks. I think it'd be great to mess around with, try to have fun. Anyway, here's the list. Feel free to make any comments. Oh, thank you. I will try to look it over at some point. Waiting for Oath of Sorin. I wonder if Oaths could return. It seems kind of unlikely. I think that was mostly attached to the Gatewatch crowd. So I'd kind of be surprised to see more Oaths, but... And actually, wait. They were also from a different block. Come to think of it. So it seems even less likely. Has anyone tried Black Red Eldrazi Aggro in Standard? I have, but not recently. Alright, opponent's going to get in with their knight. And pass. Well, let's go with... How do we want to do this? I'm always a fan of drawing cards, but what are we even drawing into? We can languish, and then... Yeah, let's just draw. Drawing's fine. Opponent flips their pacifist. Two lands. 3 lands. They just keep coming. So let's island and languish. See if our opponent has a negate. I remember our opponent bringing in lots of negates when we played in the first round. Yep, there's a negate. Well, now we'll just pacify the pacifists. So we're not taking too much damage, but we don't have anything going on. I'm always complaining about something. We need to draw the perfect amount of lands and spells every game. That's how Magic works. Alright, we take 2. Our opponent probably still has Collected Company. I wouldn't be surprised. And we are going to have to find a way to kill our Pact, or that would be a great way for this league to end, with us dying to our own Pact. That wouldn't be that surprising. Let's make our opponent discard. Pacify the Pacifist, flavor win, but now it flipped into a butcher, which takes away from the flavor win. Opponent's going to discard what? More Avacens. They pitch a Tragic Arrogance. Man. Well, I'm starting to get worried that we're going to lose to our own Pact. Let's play Evolving Wilds, pass the turn. We pretty much have 1 turn to draw an out to our Pact. Probably Angelic Purge to get around Negate. There's the Collected Company. Will I be voting Trump? No. I will not be voting Trump. They only got a Tireless Tracker. Another Tireless Tracker. Probably a land for... Ugh. Well, they might not have a negate. So, Avacen, see if we can make our opponent do something. You're voting for Bullwinkle? Sweet. I'd vote for Bullwinkle if that was an option. Or maybe they could revive the Wig Party. That's just a funny name. I would definitely vote Wig if that was an option. Evolving Wilds. Alright, we gotta top deck. We gotta top deck something this turn, or else we lose the game. Gotta get an out to our Pact. Come on. Oh, more lands. Alright, well, that is how it ends. Somewhat disappointing 2-3 record. Well, we died to our Pack a few times. So that was entertaining. I don't know, this deck, we played Bant Humans almost every game, and that doesn't feel like that good of a matchup because they have Dramoka's command, which is pretty bad. So, I don't know. I don't know how good this deck is. I also think that the Nahiri problem is a real reason not to play this deck. I'm nervous. I was nervous playing Thopter Spy Network. I was sideboarding that out quite a bit just because of Nahiri. Like in non-Nahiri matchups, it's really good, but it's really poor in Nahiri matchups. So I don't know. I don't know where this deck really fits in Standard, but it is super sweet and it's really fun to play. So that's the good news. Is it's sweet and fun, but I don't know. It's definitely not tier 1, and I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe tier 2, tier 3, but it seems like it has some real downside against some of the big cards in the format. But I think that is going to be it for tonight. I have to go grab something to drink and eat and get ready to record Commander Clash in like a half hour. But good news is, Against the Odds will be coming out in a few hours. It's a sweet one. Coalition victory in Modern. It was pretty crazy. And we'll be back tomorrow at 6. I got to update it on the page still. But 6 o'clock tomorrow instead of 7 to avoid conflicting with CSL. Yes, I know. Momir will happen, don't worry. Also, remember, playmats, if you are are wanting to support the site, you can either sign up for premium on Goldfish, would be awesome, but Playmat, you get a sweet Playmat, $20, and MTG Goldfish Replay on YouTube will get you to all the old streams. So anyway, thanks everyone for hanging out. It was a ton of fun. Be back tomorrow at 6 Eastern time, and I will talk to you then.